when your foot mob notifications are just like popping off and it keeps saying Villa score, Villa score, Villa score. And I'm like, what is happening? And then I switch on the TV and then, you know, in that match, like it almost seemed like Arsenal were gonna make a comeback. You know, when they were like 4-0 down and then they scored those two goals in quick succession. I was like, oh, this is gonna be one of those remontada type moments.
Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Welcome back to another episode on All About the W. Today, we are previewing game week 21 as well as talking about the Arsenal and Chelsea games that happened in the week. We apologize for the delay in this video. My plans sort of put a spoke in the works, but we are back and we are ready to go. Kai, how do you feel as a Chelsea fan? It's been a mixed bag. You won the WSL, yay!
Yeah, I think it's funny, like the fact that we had both like planned travels, etc. during this time, kind of tells us how unexpected this result was, I guess, or the set of results. Did not see it coming, so we are definitely running behind. We apologize, but yeah, Arsenal man, come on, what is this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, uh, yeah, it's just been one of those. Yeah. Do you just want to get into it with the games?
Yeah. Let's, you know what, let's, so basically what we thought was we would like review the two games, Aston Villa versus Arsenal, and also Manchester United versus Chelsea. And then we'll do our usual fan pundit corner, um, where I am obviously uh, kicking Ash's butt, as she calls
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Loving it for you.
but yeah, let's get started, right? Aston Villa versus Arsenal finishing 5-2. Jordan Nobbs, Kersey Hansen, Chastity Grant, and Rachel Daly with the goals for Aston Villa. And Stina Blackstenius scoring one in the 67th minute and Alessia Russo in the 71st minute. Chastity Grant obviously got that brace. Um, Ash, I mean, it's a real crash back down to earth for Arsenal, right? After the big result at Lyon. I think maybe in some ways we could have seen it coming because we know what European hangover looks like always. So, what did you make of this game?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you about the European hangover thing. Like, obviously, they were high off their Champions League victory, but like, it was obviously going to take like two games, two like really, really stressful games against Lyon. It's going to take a lot out of the squad in general, and it didn't help that Arsenal made seven changes to the lineup, with the much needed starts for players like Ruben Moy and Pelova. Obviously, that was seven changes, a lot of destabilization. The Arsenal midfield was absolutely non-existent. Like, Arsenal was should really stop trying to convert Cooney Cross into a defensive midfielder. I know you have a problem with that
Yeah.
as well. Like, Zinsberger also had a terrible game in goal, both as a shot stopper and as a distributor of the ball. So, like, there was no like area of the game that Zinsberger excelled in as a goalkeeper. Passing out from the back became an unnecessary challenge for like the wholly disorganized Arsenal backline, with McCabe and Catley looking absolutely exhausted. Like, they were just totally gassed. And young Katie Reed was too inexperienced to carry this backline while making her own mistakes due to inexperience. So
Yeah.
it was just a lot it was just a lot happening for Arsenal. I think it was just one really hot mess for them. There
Yeah.
isn't much that they could have done because nothing was going right.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because like we see teams rotate, right? Like for example, like we see Chelsea rotate a lot on the back of like Champions League games, which are very intense. But I think the difference here, probably what went really wrong for Arsenal, is that the rotations that Rene Slegers made, many of them were to bring back injured players. And so, especially in key positions, right, like Victoria Belova in that midfield, and also a lot of Ruben Moy at centre back. So, I feel like that didn't go too well for them. But at the same time, I also feel like, you know, when you look at everybody else in the back in that back line, I felt like Lotte Moy actually was okay compared to Seth
Yeah.
Catley or Katie McCabe or even Katie Reed for that matter. I feel like, yeah, she was really out of her depth, like you could see.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's talk about. I mean, with Arsenal, I feel like it's just one of those results. Like you just dust yourself up off and just like keep moving because it is pretty embarrassing to concede 5 goals to like a Villa, which you know they were in a relegation battle, right? Um, but it also goes to show that Villa have been underperforming quite a bit. We know the quality that is there in that team. So, what do you think has changed for Villa suddenly? Like 3 games, winning 3 games on the bounce now. So that's awesome for
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I
So
mean, like 3 games on the trot against like really competitive teams like Liverpool and Arsenal. Like, notice how I don't mention beating Spurs because that doesn't count for much. But I think Liverpool and Arsenal are good squads, are like really competitive WSL squads. So, like, they can really take some confidence from those scalps. Like players like Hansen, Salmon, Grant, Pacheco look like they had a new lease on life in this game. uh, I also think that shifting to a back three has allowed Villa to overload the midfield. But from what I can see, Villa are also more like compact vertically. I don't know if you noticed this. Like the whole team has been overloading whichever side of the pitch the ball is on, with
yeah,
only one winger being isolated on the opposite side for that outlet ball. Uh, I honestly don't know enough about like Arroyo's style of play to comment from a single game whether this is how she sees Villa's future playing out. Or and honestly the camera work is so bad in these games that I can't say for sure if a side to side overload is intentional, kind of like Sari ball, or whether it is uh or whether it's something that just is something I'm noticing occasionally simply because the camera work is so bad and I don't know where everyone is standing. But whatever it is,
right.
it's kind of working out for them. Villa were 4-0 before Arsenal even had a chance to recover, which I love to see. I mean, how much of this is
Yeah.
down to Arsenal simply not showing up for work is anybody's guess, because both Villa and Arsenal had 6 shots on targets, 4 big chances. Villa had 15 shots to Arsenal 16. So it all came down to conversion. Despite having only 35% of the ball, I think Villa took a full advantage on the counter. This game was like, even though the scoreline doesn't suggest it, this game was quite box to box. It was truly a spectacle for the neutral. I thought it was a good game to catch, in general, because
Yeah.
it kind of like it was what we were talking about, right? Like when Arsenal aren't direct and then they don't convert, and teams punish them on the transition. It's kind of what Leon did in the first leg of the semifinals as well. But I thought that Villa did it better than Leon. And
Hmm.
that's also because Arsenal's midfield did not show up, unlike in the Lyon game, where they
Yeah.
did. So there's a huge difference there. But yeah,
True. I think the midfield composition itself was like a bit weird, right? I mean,
yeah,
honestly, I don't know what Mariano needs to do to get some rest.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I don't think it might work for them on the day at all. And I personally am a little concerned about Cooney Cross. Like, this is her second season and she still isn't. I mean, she's not getting to play in her preferred position to some extent. Like, or maybe not the position, but the role that she's expected to do in terms of being more present defensively. I don't think is working out too well for her, but also she's not getting enough game time. So I feel like she's like one of those players who do really well in a mid-table team. She would be like the first name on the team sheet. So let's see where that leaves her. But yeah, Ash, maybe let's move on to Manchester United versus Chelsea.
yeah. United versus Chelsea ended 0-1 to Chelsea. Lucy Bronze scored from a set piece in the 74th minute. Guy, this game, little bit of a washout, but the result probably made all the Chelsea fans happy simply because Arsenal dropped those points
Yeah.
unforeseeingly, and now you are the WSL champions for the season 24-25.
Yeah, 6 times in a row. That's wild. But you know what? Listen, I was even planning to watch this match. I'm not gonna lie, because it was like a 12:45 a.m. kickoff, like for us in India, and I was just like, you know what? I have to go. Like I wake up at 7 these days, like to work out and stuff. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll just catch up on the highlights, right? And then Arsenal go and do that. That shambolic performance. And you know, the funny thing is when your foot mob notifications are just like popping off and it keeps saying Villa score, Villa score, Villa score. And I'm like, what is happening? And then I switch on the TV and then, you know, in that match, like it almost seemed like Arsenal were gonna make a comeback. You know, when they were like 4-0 down and then they scored those two goals in quick succession. I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those remontada type moments. I don't want to, like, do I need to watch it? But uh, basically, what happened was Grant scored that fifth goal, and then that was it. Like, their heads dropped. So I was like, okay, now if Chelsea win this game or draw this game, like, Chelsea just needed a draw. I was just like, I'll be really sad if I miss that, you know? And I
Yeah,
wake up in the morning and we won the title. So I'm glad I didn't miss it. But the game itself, it was, you know, initially when I was watching it, I felt like it was a bit boring.
yeah,
But I honestly feel like it was pretty end to end, you know. It was interesting. I feel like both teams lacked a bit of quality in the final third, surely. But yeah, in the first 25 minutes, it was just like very tight. It was very cagey, you know. I don't think
yeah.
any
I
one
mean,
team was on top.
I would say that United had the better chances in the
Yeah.
first 25, if the first half, I think. Like,
Yeah, so
I
that's the
think
thing. So
United,
until about 25 minutes, I didn't feel like either of the teams created anything good. But then in that last bit of the first half, right, like the last 15 minutes of the first half, United created some really good chances. Like they had, like literally Chelsea defense was like throwing their body on the line to save. Like Hannah Hampton had to make a couple of really good saves. Naomi Girma coming in with some crucial blocks, you know, and like two, I think Mallard had two opportunities which honestly she should have put away. But I think to some extent, I feel like that is also reflective of the fact that Mallard has not gotten enough maybe game time. Like, you know, some of it seemed like confidence issues, like taking those extra touches, etc. But yeah, I mean, defensively, like honestly, I feel like until Chelsea got that goal, they were struggling to control the game. Maybe 5 minutes leading up to the goal is when Chelsea finally started controlling the game. And defensively is chaos, midfield possession was chaos. Yeah, but from a Manchester United perspective, I felt like the choice of benching Toon and Turland was very interesting. You know, Mallard then started in the nine and Janssen came back into the midfield. I will say, I thought Miyazawa had some really good defensive moments. So
yeah,
I'm intrigued to see, like, in that midfield, three of Janssen, Miyazawa, and Clinton, which played that day. I feel like Hinata is like expected to do more of the defensive work, which we saw Janssen doing earlier on in the season.
yeah,
Um, but in this game, I felt like that responsibility was more with Miyazawa, and I thought she did perform quite well. Uh, yeah, I mean, Hannah Hampton had a great game, 3 to 4 crucial saves. I think she was the player of the match,
yeah,
completely
yeah. I
deserved.
think both the goalkeepers, I think, did a really good job. Hannah Hampton just edged Talis Choice out in that department, but I do think that both goalkeepers had a really good time in front of goal. They did pull off a few good saves.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I think, I mean, so again, like Talis Joyce also had that triple save that she did.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
just
yeah,
pinballing everywhere. But yeah, really good reaction saves from her. But I do think for the Lucy Bronze goal, she comes out and she completely misses the ball. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
like she comes out to punch it and she just like Lucy Bronze like just gets ahead of her. a bit of a misjudgment on her part, but I also don't think um, like bronze's rose the highest. Maybe if she had
Yeah,
stayed on her line, maybe she probably had a better chance of like push parrying
stopping
that
that.
away. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, I mean, we know how good Talis Joyce is. I don't want to take anything away from her for like
yeah, yeah.
a half
Okay,
mistake that
so
she made.
I'd like to talk about United because of where they are on the table. Where do you think this leaves United in terms of that CL spot? Because they have a few tough fixtures coming up. The United derby is, sorry, the Manchester derby is today. Where does this leave United, in your opinion?
Honestly, they should. I mean, listen, they've had a tough couple of games. I feel like the second half of the season, they've had a few wobbles in the last, say, month or so. That loss to Liverpool, then a draw against West Ham, now a loss to Chelsea. So I feel like now it's all about whether they can keep their heads. All they need to do is like if they lose the Manchester derby, then they need to get a draw against Arsenal. Now the issue with that is going to the Emirates is really hard. I don't think. I mean, Manchester United, as good as they have been defensively, I don't think they can get anything uh, at all at the Emirates, which leaves them in a position to actually, having to win that Manchester derby. It's going to be really interesting. Um, like if they manage to win against City, and actually if they manage to win against Arsenal as well, then they finish second. So like you know that means like if you have that opportunity to finish second, and you have like one round fewer for the Champions League qualification to the group stages, right? So all of this matters. Like you have a major tournament coming up in the summer. Most of your players are going to be uh, playing for the national teams, and then the turnaround time is very very quick. So I'm sure they're considering all of it. I honestly feel like City have a real chance here. uh, like all they so City's fixtures are this Manchester derby today, and then they have Palace on the final day of the season, I think. So um, I feel like with Lauren Hemp coming back, Alex Greenwood coming back, like I know they're not going to start the games, but having their presence will inject some energy into that City team. I feel like Manchester City have a real chance. I have a strong feeling, and this is my prediction. I do feel very strongly that United are going to miss out on the Champions League spot. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is going to be hard for them. The Arsenal game for sure. I feel like, you know, I might count them out, but then anything can happen. Arsenal all have their own, like stress about the Champions League, etc. They might not be paying so much attention to the WSL, but I, let's see. I think it all rests on the Manchester derby that is today.
Yeah,
Hopefully they make it through. I'd like to see United. I feel like United have done a lot this season to repair their defense, and I think that
yeah.
they have been better than City overall. So I do think that they might. I hate to say it for a Mark Skinner team, but I think they might deserve that Champions League spot.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly, I mean, given Mark Skinner is going to stick around, I am really curious to see how he does in Europe, because last year when they were in the Champions League, they kind of didn't make it to the group stages because they drew PSG, and then it was a whole thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how. Like, I mean, credit to United, because they have been defensively really really good, and they have those clutch players, in like Elatoon and Grace Clinton, and Bizet has also come up clutch. Turland as well, like who've performed well offensively as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The only thing is the Manchester derbies, I think, are happening at Old Trafford, and United women historically don't play very well at Old Trafford. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, maybe those bums and seat campaign things will help. Anyway,
Yeah.
to our favorite, well, Guy's favorite section of this show, Fan Pundit Corner. For a reminder to people who are new, basically we predict the results for the game. You get 3 points for a correct guessing the correct score line, and 1 point for guessing the right outcome. Um, Kai was at 29 and I was at 17. Make of that what you will. After tallying all the results for match day 19, Kai got the outcome right for Liverpool Spurs, Palace West Ham, Leicester Man City, United Chelsea, Chelsea Palace. Oh my God, it was a drubbing 34 points now for Kai. And I got the Palace West Ham, Leicester Man City, and the Chelsea Palace scoreline right, which puts me at a measly 20 points. This is just going to be embarrassing by the end of the season. Um, Coming to the fixtures for this game week 21, Kai, Liverpool versus Everton. Go.
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
They finally managed to win at Anfield. Maybe they'll kick
Yeah,
on.
I think I was gonna go 2-1 as well. So I'm gonna go 2-0, just with Liverpool, simply to be different from you. Um
Okay.
this is the key game. United versus City, Kai. Where would you hang your hat?
I'm gonna go 3-2 Man City.
3-2 Man City.
This is really funny because we're gonna do a live stream and uh, everyone like famously knows that Man City do not win a game that we live stream. So
Yeah,
fun.
I'm going
Good
to
for
put
Man
my
City.
faith in that. I'm going to put my faith in that juju and go 1-0 Man United.
Yeah.
Um, Crystal Palace versus Leicester City.
Ooh. I'm gonna go 2-1 Palace.
2-1 Palace. I will
Yeah, I
go
feel like they have nothing to
1-0.
lose, you know.
1-0 Leicester.
Okay.
Uh, Spurs Chelsea, Kai.
Uh, I'm gonna go probably like 2-1 Chelsea. I feel like it's going to be a tight game.
Really? I think it'll be a drubbing, but
Yeah.
because it's my team and I don't predict a loss, I will go for a draw. I'm going to go 2-2 draw simply
Yeah.
because I can't predict a loss.
Who are
Okay,
scoring the
West
two
Ham.
goals?
Sorry,
Who are scoring the two goals for Spurs? Hey,
betting
Bettingland is back.
live.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know
Anyway,
what? I just want to, yeah. Okay. What else do we have? There's Brighton Arsenal.
before that, I just want to like say West Ham Villa. I
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
wanted to shout out. We actually kind of wanted to shout out Shakira Martinez for four goals against Palace and 9 goals in total, just storming into the Golden Boot race out of nowhere. Congratulations to her. I think that that's something to watch out for West Ham if you're a West Ham fan. Uh, Guy, what did you
Yeah.
make of Shakira Martinez?
Oof, what a player, man. I mean, she came in January. It's crazy that I mean, honestly, this season, like with Bunny Shaw being out, I feel like not many strikers have like performed super well. Um, like you have players like Bunny Shaw and Sam Kerr and potentially a future Elizabeth Erland who are like just goal scoring machines. And without like Bunny and Sam being out, these are like easily 20 goals a season players, and so obviously the Golden Boot race is kind of stagnated a little bit with like I think Russo on top right now. I mean, there are 2 games left. If Shakira Martinez can like score another hat trick or something, it'd be really fun. I mean, it's a young player who's just like come. I mean, nine goals since January is very very impressive and very
Yeah,
important
yeah.
goals as well, right? Like I mean, scoring 2 against Chelsea, like that's not easy at all. So big props to her.
Yeah, we'd see how that newly rejigged 3-person Villa defense holds out. Kai, prediction for this game?
Ooh, I'm gonna go West Ham at home. So I'm gonna go 3-1 West Ham.
3-1 West Ham. They are at home. That's turning into a little bit of a fortress for them. But Villa are also on like a confidence thing. I'm gonna go 2-1 Villa, just because
Yeah.
Villa are so high on confidence from that Arsenal game.
I can see it
Uh,
happening, honestly. I can fully see
yeah.
it happening.
Okay, Brighton versus Arsenal.
Mm, I mean, see, now Arsenal absolutely cannot afford to drop points. Um, so I'm pretty sure they'll be a lot more, and they've had some time to rest as well. I think I'm gonna go Arsenal. Um, I'm gonna go 3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal are keeping a clean sheet. I'm gonna go 3-2 Arsenal.
Actually, true. It'll be Zinsberger and goal. I forgot about that. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure they'll concede. You're right.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode. Everyone, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, all of those wonderful things. We've been really, really like taken aback by the amount of support this channel has got in the last couple of weeks. And we really, really appreciate it. And if you're listening and you haven't subscribed, it doesn't hurt anyone to do so. We're only a few like tens away from like a 500, and it really really helps us to reach that number, so we would really really appreciate if you would subscribe. That's it from us for today. Hope you have a great game week 21. Bye bye.